The Japanese don't have a word for retirement, and that might just be the secret to living longer, happier lives. Welcome to episode 12 Amit's Leadership Compass, where I share key takeaways from my favourite books and podcasts and link them to my personal journey so that we can navigate leadership lessons together. I'm going to be diving into something special: Ikigai, the Japanese secret to a long, happy life, by Hector Garcia and Francesc Miralles. Here you go. Now, this isn't just about longevity, it's about purpose, meaning, and how the way we lead today shapes the legacy we leave tomorrow. At the Hakeem Group annual retreat in December 2025, Imran focused the entire weekend on Ikigai. It was profound, and having been exposed to this way of thinking, I knew I wanted to share it with you through this platform. So in this episode, I'm going to share 3 key takeaways. Ikigai is a Japanese concept that translates to your reason for being. It's a thing that gets you out of bed in the morning, not out of obligation or habit, but because there's something you're here to do, contribute, or become. In Okinawa, a Japanese island with the highest concentration of centaurians in the world, Ikigai is woven into daily life. People don't ask, when can I stop? They ask, what can I keep giving? And here's what's fascinating. Having a clearly defined Ikigai brings satisfaction, happiness, and meaning to our lives. Not someday in the future, but right now. So my personal reflection on Ikigai. There have been many times in my leadership where I was busy, successful even, but something felt hollow. For example, earlier on in my career, and I've touched on this in previous episodes, as a business owner under a different organization, I was doing okay. Sales growth, value of the business was increasing, but I wasn't happy. Why? The one key factor was that I didn't feel the environment was conducive to my growth as a leader. There was no room for my entrepreneurial spirit. My wings felt clipped. Looking back, I realized I was productive, but I wasn't purposeful. I was moving, but I didn't know why it mattered. That's the difference Ikigai makes. My second takeaway that I'm going to share with you in this episode is that the Japanese don't retire, and there's wisdom in that. And here's something remarkable: there actually is no word for retirement in Japanese. That's not a linguistic accident, it's a worldview in Okinawa. People keep doing what they love for as long as their health allows. They don't count down to an exit, they design their lives where contribution, connection, and purpose continue indefinitely. As leaders, we often think in terms of endpoints: the next promotion, the next milestone, the exit strategy. But what if leadership longevity isn't about when you stop, but about building something sustainable enough that you never want to stop? I've watched leaders retire and lose themselves within months, and I've seen others transition into new chapters with energy and clarity because their identity wasn't tied to a title, it was rooted to something deeper. I've seen this play out many times since being part of the Hakeem Group. Many partners initially join viewing it as a short to medium term exit plan, but something shifts. The ability to give up a lot of back office stuff they probably didn't enjoy and be in an environment where there are so many inspirational individuals, Imran, the many industry leading specialists in their field, gives them that burst of energy, that second wind. They start to enjoy work again. If you couldn't retire, what would you keep doing? That's probably closer to your Ikigai than you think. My final takeaway for this episode is leaders without Ikigai burn out. Leaders with Ikigai sustain. When you're clear on your reason for being, challenges don't drain you. You're not running on motivation alone. You're anchored in something that matters beyond the immediate. Ikigai doesn't eliminate hard days, but it makes them meaningful. And over time, meaning is what keeps you going when motivation fades. Personal reflection on this. For me, Ikigai has become a filter for decisions. The rate at which the Hakim group is growing, opportunities tend to present themselves. Recently, an opportunity came up that would have looked impressive on paper, the kind of thing ego or a younger me would have said yes to immediately or tried to kind of get my foot into the door. But when I measured it against my why, it became clear that it would pull me away from what truly matters. Ego would be to take ego would be to take each and every opportunity as it presents. But that is not always the right thing for me, my family, my work wife Lynn, or the Hakim group. Learning to walk away from opportunities that aren't aligned with my why ensures that I stay true to myself and my purpose. When I'm aligned with my Ikigai, I have energy. When I drift from it, everything feels harder. Here's a question worth sitting with you. If you couldn't retire tomorrow, what would you keep doing? And what does that tell you about your Ikigai? I'd love to hear your answer in the comments. And if you're not sure yet, that's okay too. That's what this series is about. If this episode resonated, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need this message. This is just the beginning of our Ikigai series. The next episode, I'll be exploring the blue zones, the 5 places on earth where people live the longest, and what leaders can learn from them. Until then, keep learning with clarity, courage, intent, and keep navigating your leadership compass.